Now we learned that Newsmax, the surging conservative cable channel, which added viewers because they disputed the election in Donald Trump's favor, has lost 50% of its audience in February, last month. 50%.
Wait, disputed the election? Bill, what gives here? Let's talk more about this and welcome in Newsmax contributor Andrew Giuliani. Andrew, sounds a little scary with Bill O'Reilly taking shots at Newsmax, but let's quote Bill O'Reilly here, as he used to say in the old day. What say you, Andrew Giuliani, about this?
Well, John, thanks for having me on. You know, Bill used to be probably the best at this. Unfortunately, even the best pitchers lose their fastball. What Bill's saying is just inaccurate, and it's cherry-picked. I'd like to put up a great chart here that our team has done to show Newsmax's meteoric rise. Specifically, if we could focus first on the fourth quarter of last year to the first quarter of this year, and you could see that there's a 24% increase from the fourth quarter of last year when you ended up having the election and the election aftermath and everything regarding that. So he's just flat out wrong when it comes to this. I also like to point out, too, see where Newsmax was in the third quarter, see where it is now, and it's over an 8 times increase when you look at that. And it's pretty amazing. As I said before, it's meteoric.
It's been a wild ride, you know, and amazing. And a lot of people, you know, that don't know about Nielsen, but if you jump 24% in a quarter, that is a big jump. And what this shows is that every quarter Newsmax is having strong increases, and it's up this year. Now, when Bill O'Reilly claimed Newsmax was down, that wasn't the case. He's just kind of cherry-picking things, as you pointed out here. And I think you have another chart for us, too, to talk about our ratings. What do we see here?
That's exactly right. When we talk about year-over-year views and ratings being up this year, you can see it's up from evening viewers. It's up from 4 to 8 p.m. It's up in prime time. These are really strong increases and similar to what we saw before. This is an 800, 900% increase from the summer of last year, just 6 months ago, to now, and up 30, 33, 20% just from the fourth quarter alone. So Mediaite, a liberal website, mostly fairly liberal website, says Newsmax is down half of its viewership. As I said before, as we both said, it's just cherry-picked numbers from a few days after the election, when, of course, most people are turned into cable news, to the end of February, when there is going to be a small ratings fall, which we've seen across all news networks. This is not unique to Newsmax. This is true of CNN, of MSNBC, and our other competitors. Yeah,
you know, we got spring training happening now, March Madness. All this is normal. It's cyclical. And, you know, Bill O'Reilly always used to say, the tide goes in, the tide goes out. The tide goes in. And with all due respect to Mr. O'Reilly, who you know we respect, we think is an icon, but these aren't the good old days of cable news when Bill was in his prime. We are under attack from members of Congress who want to cancel us. There's also, as you know, Andrew, a lot more competition out there from online outlets. Not all of them are legitimate. But the good thing is that we at Newsmax are the only major cable network available for free without a paywall. Millions of people have already downloaded our app. They're watching our Prime stream online. And those numbers are not reflected in the Nielsen rating. So, you know, we're not really getting an accurate picture, and certainly Bill O'Reilly isn't either.
More than 5 million people have downloaded the Newsmax app since Election Day. We dominate the OTT platforms amongst all cable news, and we're still the #4 cable news network, even with our strong OTT presence. So you're absolutely right. Newsmax is positioned to be really the news outlet of the future when you consider what you just said there, John.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I think they said 34, but we cut that short. 34,000 is what we meant here. You know, and another question here, you know, Brian Stelter hit Newsmax as well for ratings decrease, while not referencing the fact that Don Lemon's show has probably fallen the most out of any show on cable news here. But why do you think Bill O'Reilly is taking the liberal talking point? You know, CNN, for example, in total day ratings, they dropped 45%. I mentioned Don Lemon's show. But here you can see again on the screen, why do you think O'Reilly is taking the liberal talking points here, Andrew?
It's a good question. I don't know why, but you're absolutely right. CNN is down 45%. There's a drop in platforms across cable news right now. And as you said, he used to say the tide goes in and the tide goes out. I don't know why he's specifically picking on Newsmax or singled out Newsmax, but the truth is the data just doesn't align with his narrative, as we saw with those first graphics.
Yeah, let's show that video again one more time, because O'Reilly makes it pretty clear that we had a increase in the ratings because we disputed the election. I think we're going to dispute his claim, but let's play it again one more time.
Now we learned that Newsmax, the surging conservative cable channel, which added viewers because they disputed the election in Donald Trump's favor.
I mean, Andrew, O'Reilly is just wrong when he says that Newsmax disputed the election.
That's exactly right. He is wrong when he says Newsmax disputed the election. Bill, we know, opposed President Trump questioning any of the election results. And I think he's out of line here, because Newsmax did not dispute the results. Newsmax reported the president's legal challenges fairly. They didn't call any states that were within a 1% margin. And I think they did their due diligence when some other networks did not. And the other thing I'd like to say about that regarding other networks, and I think one of the reasons why we are seeing this ratings rise at Newsmax, is Newsmax decided to actually fairly report on what was going on with the president's legal challenges. That is news. That's a sitting president of the United States at the time that they're reporting on. And it's why more people are trusting Newsmax now than some of our competitors. So I'm very excited to be here, John. I know you've been here since the beginning of Newsmax TV. I may be jumping on the bandwagon, but I think I'm getting on the train before it completely leaves the station. So thank you for having me aboard and making me feel welcome.
No thanks is owed to me. Other people probably deserve that thanks, but I'm thrilled to have you here too. Again, we want to just mention a couple of things. It's not just a gain in ratings. Newsmax is up over 700% from Q3 to Q1. Yeah. And you mentioned this. O'Reilly opposed President Trump's challenge. I don't know what really is the motivation here, but friendly fire, we're ducking. He's just clearly wrong on so many fronts, and you hate to see it sometimes. But Andrew, we're going to set the record straight. No spin zone here on this show, to quote again Bill O'Reilly. All right, we'll see you later, Andrew.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, great to see you as well. No problem. All right.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.